Happy New Year, Live All Good podcast listeners. This is the first episode of 2022 for Cruzin with the Coaches, a conversation with Julie and Lee. In this episode, we talk about goal setting and what that looks like. How can you turn a wish into a goal? Stay tuned, that conversation is coming up next. Hey folks, this is Lee Grigsby here, health and life coach and founder of Live All Good Coaching. I'll be on the air with Podcast Business News Network, talking about the various things around health and wellness and mental health. Also talking about how mindset is critical to achieving the goals that you set for yourself. You can reach me at liveallgood44@gmail.com, or you can go to my website, liveallgood.com, and fill out the contact form and reach me there. Once again, that's liveallgood.com. Go to the About section, fill out the contact form, or you can reach me at liveallgood44@gmail.com. Hey folks, welcome back from the short break. Wow, it is 2022, and this is the first episode of Cruising with the Coaches in the new year. Of course, I am your host and coach, Lee Grigsby. I am here with my co-host and fellow coach, Julie Cruz. Julie, how are you in this new year?
Doing great. Happy New Year, everyone.
Nice. It is so good to catch up with you again in the new year. We have put 2021 behind us. And is there anything other than Happy New Year you want to share?
But have we really put it behind us? We're trying.
Oh, okay, wishful thinking. We're
trying really hard.
Exactly. Rear view mirror, for sure.
Yes, definitely.
No, definitely. Always good to be with you guys, folks. And we appreciate you having listened to us and taken time out during last year. And we hope you appreciate and enjoy what we bring to you in the new year. So, Julie, starting off, man, let's come in hot, right?
Okay.
A lot of folks use the new year as a time for setting resolutions, right? They do that before the year comes in. I had a friend kind of put a term as they call those folks resolutionaries. And I kind of cracked up at that. But seriously, if people use it, it's the same thing as if you use like a Monday. Okay, that's the beginning of my week. I'm going to start fresh, right?
Right.
Or even daily, when people use, okay, I'm going to start at the next hour, stuff like that. Just a quick restart. So what we want to talk about is, people have wishes and dreams, but how do you turn those into an actual goal, right? Mm-hmm. What does that look like? What does that feel like? What are the, what are the steps that you kind of have to go through in order to move it from a wish or a dream into a goal?
Okay.
So first off, I'd like to ask you your thoughts on what do you think the difference is between a wish and a goal?
A wish and a goal?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, first of all, you can wish for anything. So it doesn't mean it even has the ability of being attainable. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm hoping, I'm thinking, yeah, we could do that. But with a goal, it's definitely something that, it's attainable. If you're saying I'm going to walk 10,000 steps in a day, that's my goal. That's where I want to get. I mean, like, you can do the steps, pardon the pun, to get you there. You know what I mean? So I mean,
Yeah.
that's in my frame of mind, that I just think that's the difference between the two.
No, that's awesome. And I love the pun. But you're absolutely right. It's a wish is something that you just kind of think about, right?
Right.
Or you dream about. So, in order to get that to the attainable goal, there are some things you have to do.
Right.
So, the first step is you have to have that vision, right? That vision of, I love your example. So let's go with that.
Mm-hmm.
That vision of 10,000 steps a
Right.
day. They, medically, they talk about how walking is a great exercise,
Right.
how it's an easy, convenient exercise. You don't need any equipment, all that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Which I chose 10,000 because that's actually the recommended amount of steps.
Absolutely. That is the recommended one.
Mm-hmm.
Side note here, I had a day a few weeks ago where I barely got over 2,000 steps.
I hate Thursdays.
It happens, folks. I just wanted to let you know I'm being transparent. I'm being honest. It was one of those days. It was, I actually looked at my step count,
Mm-hmm.
and it was in the afternoon. It was about 3 p.m. ish. And I had
Beyond the
1,100.
point of return.
So yeah, folks, it happens.
Yeah.
But you have to have that vision. And so the vision of 10,000 steps, because that is recommended.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you start. Okay? The next step that you have to have is researching what or who has already had like a similar vision in what they're doing,
Okay.
if that makes sense, right?
Right. So
again,
get some
no, go ahead.
reference.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about the goal of 10,000 steps. The first thing you can do in order to do some research is Google, okay, why is 10,000 steps recommended?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Get your mind wrapped around, why that's the recommended amount of steps, what the benefits are. Maybe you even find some pitfalls or some roadblocks that people have come across with trying to get to 10,000 steps a day.
Right. With most people, it's time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So then the next thing you want to do is come up with a plan,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
So your plan has to be, and again, I loved how you talked about a goal is attainable, right?
Right.
So this plan that you have has to include the steps that are attainable to get to that goal.
Right.
And so you might not know that I want our listeners to really, really pick up on this. You might not know all the steps, okay? And that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have to be tied to the outcome. But you have to know at least the first 2 or 3 parts of your plan. And as you move up on those 2 or 3 parts, more parts of your plan will be revealed to you, or maybe you'll learn more along that journey.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
You do not have to plan the entire thing out before you start.
No, but you do have to think about, what is the outcome I'm looking for? Do I just want to get steps? Am I doing this for fat burning? Am I just doing this because I want to be active? Like, you also have to know the why, because if you don't know the why, you're never going to know, you're not going to actually be all that into it. You're not going to be that focused until you figure out why you're doing it too.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right about that. You do have to know the why. And so then that last part of how to get from a wish to a goal, the last part is the execution. Okay? Mm-hmm. The execution of that plan from the research of the vision, it could be, what do I need, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could be, who do I need to involve? Because sometimes we cannot do everything ourselves, right?
Right. Right.
So again, back to our 10,000 steps. If that seems overwhelming, which it could if you've never done 10,000 steps before,
Right.
but that's what you want to get to. So you have the vision, you've done your research about, okay, this is why 10,000 steps is helpful. In your plan, start with small steps that are attainable. So
Right.
maybe you're not quite ready for 10,000 steps. Maybe you adjust it to 5,000.
Right. Because if you're having a Lee day, I mean, 5,000 would be much, much better.
I love that. I need to have more lead days.
But yeah, just getting yourself. I mean, like, I think that's the other thing is people I want to do 10,000, but they don't and they want to do it tomorrow, and it's just like, yeah, you can't always do that.
Right. And so the execution comes along with being in action.
Right.
That's what it's about. Being in action and building towards that goal. Right. So you start with 5,000 and maybe you only get to 3,500 steps, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's okay, because now you have a benchmark. Now you have a baseline and you build from there. Also in your plan, then you start building and looking at, okay, where can I, and listen carefully, folks, where can I make the time to get these steps in, right? Not, oh, I don't have time or I can't find the time. Where do I make the time?
Or even how do I enhance my time, or how do I improve my time? Because maybe the problem is I'm hitting that 3,000 step and then I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of lost interest in this. Is it because you're on a treadmill? Is it because you're not on a trail? Is it because you're not talking with a friend? So start to figure out how you can improve what you've already done for yourself so far.
Absolutely. That great point. Great point. Because you might plateau. Right. Absolutely.
Right.
So that's it, folks. That's how you get from a wish to a goal. It's 4 steps. You have vision. You have the research of that vision. You come up with a plan for that vision. And then you get in action and execute the plan.
Right.
That's how you do that. So, Julie, let's take a break. And then when we come back, I actually want to talk about a tangible goal that I think some of our listeners might like. And that way we can get them on a plan for this. What do you think about that?
Sounds good.
All right, folks, stay tuned. We will be right back. Hey folks, this is Lee Grigsby here, health and life coach and founder of Live All Good Coaching. I'll be on the air with Podcast Business News Network, talking about the various things around health and wellness and mental health. Also talking about how mindset is critical to achieving the goals that you set for yourself. You can reach me at liveallgood44@gmail.com, or you can go to my website, liveallgood.com, and fill out the contact form and reach me there. Once again, that's liveallgood.com. Go to the About section, fill out the contact form, or you can reach me at liveallgood44@gmail.com. All right, folks, welcome back from the break. This is Cruzin with the Coaches, a conversation with Julian Lee, our very first episode of 2022. Just in case you're joining us in the middle of the episode and you fast forwarded past the goal setting, although we didn't want you to.
Right.
So just a quick recap, if you missed that, how do you turn a wish into a goal? 4 steps. You have a vision, you research that vision, you come up with a plan in order to execute that vision, and then you get into action. That's how you do it.
Right.
So,
So I wished that my jeans from 10 years ago would fit me again. Does that count?
yes, it does. Yes, it does. Now that everyone's doing the 10-year challenge, right?
Right.
Absolutely. That's perfect. That's a
Yeah.
goal. Well, guess what? You are in store for a great super secret ninja tip. If you want to fit into those jeans, we have an answer for you. Everybody's heard the term intermittent fasting.
Yes.
Correct? Okay. Now, again, everybody might have a different purpose for intermittent fasting, and that's cool. One of the most convenient ways and easy ways to do intermittent fasting is doing it overnight.
Yes.
Because most of that time, hopefully, you're asleep.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And
right.
and that way you don't have to be awake and need energy or think about eating, right? So I want to share with our listeners, intermittent fasting is really, well, before we talk about intermittent fasting,
Say,
best
does
way to,
everybody know what it is?
right. Well, the best way to lose weight is caloric deficit, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Eating less calories. We're not even judging what you eat. We're just talking about being in a caloric deficit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And intermittent fasting basically means going for a period of time without a meal.
Right.
So you have to go about 12 hours with in between meals
Mm-hmm.
for intermittent fasting to really take effect. Once you hit that 12-hour mark, you have to actually go another 2 hours, and that's when the body starts to pull energy from all the fat reserves that you have.
Right.
So that's when it really starts to burn fat. That's when you can then have your breakfast, aka breaking your fast.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if people are aware of that. That's
Yeah.
really what breakfast means, right? It's not a meal that you're supposed to have in the morning. It is a meal that you have when you're breaking your fast,
Correct.
whenever that is.
Mm-hmm.
So it really is ideal to do it for 14 hours.
Yes.
That's when your body is going to start pulling the energy that you need from the fat reserves that you have. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody's like, Lee, okay, we get it. You and Julie, you guys exercise, you go walking, you go to the gym. You guys, fine, you got it covered, but how do we even do that? How do we get to that? Right?
Right.
I'm sure somebody has a question.
Yeah.
So I will tell you guys, I literally started trying this again, but trying to be effective with it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So personally, I will eat dinner and I will stop eating by about 7 p.m. We normally have dinner about 6:30. Even if I'm at work, I'll still eat around 6:30.
Okay.
So I stop eating by 7, and in between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m., I'll drink water,
Mm-hmm.
or I've started drinking, I guess I call it a tea, but I will drink a ginger and turmeric tea.
Okay.
Okay. Because ginger and turmeric together help reduce inflammation.
Right.
And they're awesome. It boosts the immune system, all that good stuff. But we'll get into that in another episode.
And I think the key too is obviously when you're doing it overnight is to have something on your nightstand, water, like you said, tea, anything, because the reality is, as I had mentioned to you during our break, was, I wake up in the middle of the night and I can have a hunger pain. You know what I mean? It's just like my stomach's just growling because it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, you know? And
Absolutely.
so it's just kind of like, all right, as long as I wake up, it's not me waking up, going to the refrigerator. It's me just, you know, grabbing whatever I have on my
Exactly.
nightstand. You know, so just make sure you have that, grab something, and then you go right back to sleep, you know? But it's just important.
And another added benefit of doing intermittent fasting overnight, it actually is going to make you go to bed. Because if you don't go to bed, like some of us on here, Lee, then you'll be up and you'll be snacking, and then you've broken the fast before the intermittent fasting can really take effect, you know?
Right.
And it could even be a good snack. Doesn't matter. It's still the fact that you have now introduced something else that your body has to digest within that 12-hour window that you were trying to leave open.
Well, and the other piece of that too is because when you're eating during the day, I think you're more conscious of what it is you're putting in your body. You know what I mean? At home, it's anything goes, you know, because you're just going to cabinets and everything. But when you're more intentional with putting in, you know, in however way you're going to pack it or whatever, you're more intentional with what you're putting in that bag to take with you wherever you're going to go. So it's just kind of like, I don't know, you're just more aware of how you're eating.
No, you're absolutely right. So yes, you're intentional with what you're eating during the day, which is, it gives you energy. It helps you attack your day, however that is. And you don't have to be intentional at night because, you know, it also is tied to like our circadian rhythms, right?
Right.
We're meant to be awake when the sun is out.
Right.
even if it's cloudy, but we're also meant to be asleep when the sun is down, you know? So the added benefits of intermittent fasting, they come with, you're going to get better sleep because you're going to go to bed. And then by the time you wake up, you will have done most of the intermittent fasting.
Correct.
So, and like you said, it's important to have that water bottle, whatever it is, on your nightstand.
Yep.
And then when you wake up, also start with some warm lemon water because that will kick in for your digestion system. It will kind of tide you over for that next couple hours where your body starts to burn the fat. And so then, like in my instance, like I said, I go between 7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Okay.
And I will have the lemon water when I wake up, but I won't eat my next meal until about 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Okay.
So I've already started burning some of the fat. And another benefit of the intermittent fasting is when you wake up, you don't feel bloated.
Right.
Because your body hasn't had to digest something overnight while you're sleeping.
And the other thing going back to what you were talking about with references, there's a lot available if you just Google to find out what intermittent fasting you should be doing too. Like to find out if you have your specific goal, and it can tell you, okay, if you're doing this for weight loss, if you're doing this, like this is the window to which you should be eating. This is, you know what I mean? So it's always good to research that, because I know I believe there's a 20 and 4-hour fasting. Like
yes, there are definitely different levels of intermittent fasting. Absolutely.
Yes.
So we're just giving you the most convenient and the basic window for intermittent fasting. Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. So should we leave our listeners with a little bit of homework?
Ooh, what homework would that be?
Stop eating, folks. Caloric deficit.
Just so we're clear, I'm not trying to gloat in any way, shape, or form, but I am back in those jeans from 10 years ago. So I am very, very excited. So
nice. Well done.
And I don't even think about it anymore. Like at this point, it's just become a way of life for me. So I'm, as long as I make sure I'm having what I need at work, and then I make sure I have my meal at home with my family. So then it's just like, I don't know. It's just kind of became a way of life. I don't even think about it.
Well, and you know what? You touch on the very important thing. That's what we're trying to get you to. It becomes a lifestyle. It becomes something you don't think about. Now, again, folks, this is stuff that we've been doing. So when you're starting out, just be kind to yourself when you're starting.
Yep.
It's okay. Maybe you do this 1 day a week. Maybe you do it 2 days a week. Start small, because the bigger the goal that you want to achieve, the smaller the steps you have to take to get there.
Exactly.
If you want it to be sustainable, that's what we're talking about. Yeah. So no, and no, folks, it's not about. We're not telling you to eat less. We're helping you really understand what goal planning is about and how to turn those wishes and dreams into achievable goals.
Yeah.
We just wanted to explain one aspect of a lot of people's goals, which is losing weight.
Losing weight. That's a factor for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what's the homework?
I guess the homework should be, you know what? This is, because somebody's like eating the donut right now. Like, oh, man, I'm kidding. I think a good piece of homework for our listeners would be, how well are you going to do with those 4 steps, right? What's your vision? What research are you doing about that vision? What plan can you come up with? And then when are you deciding to get in action about your plan?
Yeah.
That's the homework. That's the homework.
Sounds good.
And we'd love to hear from you. So there's a link that you can leave a comment. And yeah, folks, just get in action. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you have to be in action in order to make that goal come true. Well, it has been
wish come true.
Make the wish come. That's right. In action for the wish to come true. It's been another great episode. We thank you for taking time out on a Wednesday. This has been a conversation with Julie and Lee. Oh, I got that wrong, didn't I, Julie?
What?
I totally got that wrong.
How did a conversation with Julie and Lee?
Well,
cruising with the coaches. Yes.
Folks, you see, we're starting fresh in the new year, so
we starting brand new.
Folks, keep an eye out for our new cover art.
Oh yes.
We have new cover art, and it's just keep an eye out for it. Keep an eye out for it. But yeah, this has been Cruising with the Coaches, a conversation with Julie and Lee. We thoroughly appreciate you taking the time out on a Wednesday to be with us. And you can find us on Google, on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, other podcast platforms that you listen to. And we will see you in a couple weeks.
All right.
We'll talk to you.
All right. Talk to you soon.